well, if it isn't a cat going to war in a tank with a big explosion. Hey, how you doing today? Hopefully you're doing absolutely wonderful, Peachy Keen, and hopefully this won't ruin it for you. I decided I wanted to talk a little bit about the historical gaming thing, the historical gaming drama that was going on right now. Because apparently Midwinter Minis made a video saying that sometimes people don't want to play Nazis, and a bunch of people were like, "Oh, what? Oh, what? How would you not want to play Nazis? Oh, what?" Basically, if you're not familiar with the drama, it was basically they were talking about how, like, at the start of the video, they said that they were going to paint up a couple of World War II tanks, or like 4 World War II tanks, 2 Shermans and 2 Panzers. I think they were 2 Panzer IVs. And the lady in the video said that she didn't want to paint the Nazi tanks because they were bad, evil Nazi men. And this led to them asking questions about historical wargamings where you gotta like play as like the bad guys. For some reason, Japan and Poland are going to be fighting on a British farm. Don't mind me. And we're just going to put a bunch of cool tanks down. And they're just going to basically charge at each other. And we're going to have all kinds of... I'm just going to put a ton of rifle infantry, just a bunch of regular old rifle infantry. There we go. Maximum amount of units spawned. Now for Poland, we're just going to put a bunch of these medium tanks here. And now we're going to put just a bunch of guys with rifles out here. Slightly more points on the Polish side, but that's fine. So this game is, by the way, is Total Tank Simulator. It just has a bunch of World War II tanks and other things that you can just kind of pin against each other and watch them go and watch them explode against each other. And I thought that would be appropriate for this. But yeah, that was the basic gist of it. And people were talking about like, oh, and then a bunch of people were screaming about people being like liberals and things, saying how could you be a terrible liberal, and oh, you're just complaining that a historical game is historical, and all these other things. And well, I had some thoughts on this, so I'm just gonna be real with you. I may be a little commie cat. Look at my little commie beret. Ooh, look at all the tanks and shit. Ooh, fire! It begins. I may be a little commie cat and things like that, but if I'm gonna play like a World War II game, I'm just gonna be honest with you, I don't really care what side I'm on. I'm just gonna play the side that I end up getting on, especially if it's like a team-based game. Like if I'm playing Call of Duty World War II and I happen to play on the German side, I'm gonna just play the Germans. It's not a big deal to me. I like the German guns, I like some of their uniforms, stuff like that. Are they the bad guys? Well, yeah, but I mean, everybody in like a historical game is going to be doing stuff that they probably... Ooh, wow, look at all this. Oh, jeez. Holy crap! Oh, man. This is pretty intense. Oh, but I think it kind of looks like Poland's getting pushed back a little bit further than... Oh. Oh, no. Come on, Poland, you're supposed to pull through! Holy crap, look at all those grenades. But yeah, like my whole idea is if I'm playing like a historical war game and I'm just, you know, having fun and just doing a game, I don't really care what side I'm on. Like, I don't really think the Americans are the good guys here. I think they're just better than the Nazis. I mean, because the Americans were also genocidal. They also did a lot of horrible things. They did a lot of horrible things to Native Americans. They did a lot of horrible things overseas. The British Empire, you know, like, yeah, they're probably the better side in World War II. I mean, they are the better side in World War II because they're not actively doing, like, the same systemic genocide that the Nazis were doing. But ultimately speaking, It's not like they are the good guys overall. Any power you're playing in a World War II game, you're still playing a genocidal power that has done bad things to people, that has blown people up, that has, you know, systemically oppressed people. Germany also, you know, systemically oppressed people before World War II. You know, like it's all over the place. Like genocide on a massive scale among the British Empire is also well known, well documented. All of those terrible things and all the wealth that was stolen from India and Africa, etc. Like, so right off the bat, I would say that no one here is a good guy. It's just that the Nazis are even worse because they, you know, were doing all the systemic genocide. But if I'm just playing like a World War II type game where it's just like, okay, you have Germans and Americans or whatever, I'm not really thinking about that too much. I'm just thinking, oh, well, which side looks cooler, probably, at most. Like, I happen to like German tanks, but I also happen to like Soviet tanks. So, you know, like, Germans or Soviets, I'll probably take those guys. The Americans are also kind of cool because I like the M1 Garand and stuff like that. But when we're talking about, like, actual historical situations, in the vast majority of the time, you're not really picking a quote-unquote good guy. You're just picking the slightly less worse guy. There are some exceptions to this, such as, like, for instance, if we were doing like a Vietnam War, an American Vietnam War game, I would almost certainly pick the Viet Cong because I think that they had the better side in that, and I like my Viet Cong. Good job, Poland! I wasn't 100% sure if that is how that was going to play out there for a second. I thought that maybe Poland wasn't going to come out on top there. But, you know, it's okay. They ended up coming out on top in the end. And you know what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to do another sandbox match, and I'm going to bump it up to max. But now I'm going to do USSR versus Germany. And you can see here you got Japan, Italy, France, UK, Poland, USA, USSR, and Germany. Yeah, I'll pick the two sides that I think at least kind of look cool. Like, it's also like, yeah, there are certain conflicts in which I'm just definitely not going to choose a certain side. Like, if we're going to do like the Rhodesian Wars, I'm not going to pick Rhodesia. I'm not going to pick Rhodesia in the Rhodesian Wars. It's not my thing, man. But I think for the most part, when you're playing a tabletop game, you should probably just like let a lot of that stuff go. And I understand why you wouldn't want to play Nazis or stuff like that, because then it's like, okay, well, you're collecting them, you're kind of glorifying them in a sense. I kind of get that, but at the same time, I wouldn't be that worried about it as long as you're not like, you know, actively supporting like what the Nazis were doing during World War II. If you're not like, oh yes, these guys had the right idea and everything here is like the very best idea ever and I love these guys. As long as you're not doing something silly like that, I think you're probably fine. You know what I'm gonna do, okay, so for infantry, I'm just gonna give like, so each little tank here is just gonna have like a small little group of guys supporting them. And I'm gonna actually make it a little bit more diverse this time so that we have a little bit more assault infantry. For some reason it has Kalashnikovs, but that's fine. And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do a couple of fighter planes just because I think that makes it interesting. And here's one of my favorites. You can do a transport plane. I'm gonna have a couple of these transport planes flying overhead. But then when we go over to Germany, instead of that, we're gonna have a tactical bomber. A couple of tactical bombers, and we're gonna have a few fighter planes. And they're gonna try and stop that. And the Germans here, in this case, we're gonna say that they're kind of doing more of like a defensive route. So we're gonna give them a couple of nests here. And we're gonna give them less tanks, but we're going to give them, where's Panzer? We're gonna give them a couple Panzer IIs. And a few SMG infantry here. There we go. Now let's see, is there anything I can see landmines here? Yeah, the Germans are gonna have less of an advantage, but we're gonna see what happens here. Wow. Man, doesn't that? Yeah, see, like you can have oh geez. I think that's already. Oh yeah, they're dropping. Yeah, look at that. They're dropping Russian troops onto the battlefield here. Oh, I think I can. Trying to remember. Oh yes, I can take care. See, so now I'm on the. Oh wow, Russia absolutely decimated him here. But that's fine. I'm okay with that. Jeez. Ah! Oh no, I died. Yeah, geez, look at this. This is just a lot of carnage. I think I should have given them like maybe a few more tanks and maybe a little bit more defenses. Oh look, that tank just has like some dude just sitting on top of it. But yeah, I think for the most part you should probably know. Now that being said, there are some people who are really creepy and like will start like wearing like Nazi patches and being like, oh no, I'm just playing a historical war game and I just likes the Germans. It's like I think you look a little bit more than just because they're Germans. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Yeah, sometimes you do get weird like right-wing guys who seem like they oh, there's this. I think they have like limited fuel, so I think they're actually. Okay. Oh, that was silly. Oh, you know what we should do is let's reset that and let's put like more planes on. That could be cool. Yeah, I think for the most part, you're kind of just dealing with things where it's like it's probably not that important unless the person is being deliberately creepy and being deliberately like, ah, yes, I hope the Nazis would have won, and they didn't like actually won the historical conflict. That's a little weird. Or if they only want to play the Nazis, there are circumstances where it gets a little weird. Don't get me wrong, but here we're gonna put a couple of tigers. Let's see here. Oh, now it's like way more. Okay. So here for the Soviets, I'll also do a couple of. I'll do. Yeah, some barracks, and then I'll do an airport here. Let's do something fun. Let's just do some dozers. And now we're just gonna put out a shit ton of. There we go. Okay, fairly even now. Oh wait, did it? I think. Okay, well. There you go. Yeah, drop those paratroopers over those guys. But yeah. Now, I would also say that For me personally, I usually want to try and play the good guys. This is part of the reason I go so far out of my way to make like I went out of my way to make my own Space Marine chapter, who are good guys. Like, you know, they're like looking out for their own people. They're, you know, they took over in a military coup so that they could make their society better, so that they could get their people in a better state. That was their main objective there, right? Now, what's going on with it over here? Why do these guys have little pirate hats over them? I don't know what that means. Ooh, brutal. But you know, that was my main thing there, and I made my Eldar work with my Space Marines so they would be good guys. You know, my orcs, they're like more thinky boys. Oh, I thought that was gonna go on a little longer. I made them more thinky boys so that they would you know, like they're more interested in like stealing and understanding other people's technology, and they have kind of a little bit of a longer view on the wall. They like want the wall to go on for as long as possible and not just end. You know, you know what, we're gonna do random again. And what if we just did a pick random map? Let's see where that takes us. And then like that, like I do like playing good guys, and I don't particularly like playing bad guys. Like part of the reason I don't play Drukhari, even though I think Kabalite warriors look really cool, is that they're evil. They're just very bad. They're very bad and very evil, and just like chaos. Oh, USSR versus USA. Oh, the Cold War heated up, my dudes. So what if we did just like we'll just do like a small contingent of dudes here, and like let's do like one tank. Let's like do like almost like a tactical type thing here. And we'll do one medium Sherman over here, and then we're gonna just put in some assault infantry over here. Yeah, let's do that. Jeez, just ramming through things. Yes, me and my Soviet guys are gonna go try to stop the American capitalist pigs. But you know, I try to make them good. I made my own free city in Age of Sigmar that has orcs and ogres and some Gloomspite Gits and stuff that are kind of good guys for their own reasons there. And I kind of like flex on the lore a little bit there to try and make good guys. So I understand the desire to play good guys. And personally, I would also extend this, and I wanted to continue this into another topic, which was being good in everyday society. You see, I think that a lot of us don't really think about like the ramifications and the things that have to happen for our society to be maintained as it is now. There's a lot of kind of messed up stuff that goes on, you know, behind the scenes. It's like the United States, you know, does a lot of fucked up things to people's overseas to maintain its supremacy. There's a lot of weird stuff that ends up happening. Oh no, they're calling us to church as we're trying to blow each other up. Oh geez. Why did so many... Oh! Okay, so charging directly into a tank, turns out, not a great idea. There's a lot of really fucked up things that have to go on overseas and stuff like that. And our society is based in a large part on exploitation and things like that. I think that. Oh, geez. Uh-oh. Me and my boys got cut down there pretty good. Maybe we can last, though, if we're just careful. Their tank's down. We got some... Oh, that's a lot of fucking Russians over there. That did not even... Oh, geez. Yeah, there's a lot of messed up stuff that has to happen. To maintain power, you have to be willing to use force and use... There are certain things, basically, you're going to have to be willing to do to maintain your force, willing to maintain your power, etc. I'm surprised I've lasted this long. We don't have a whole lot of our boys left, but we might be able to win out the day if we're careful. Man, I'm kind of half expecting to go over the hill and just get like a machine gun just right in my face. It's not like being moral is as simple as not being on the Nazis' side, I think it's also hard in our modern society to not... Oh, jeez. Oh, wow, that helped a lot. Oh my god. Oh, I think I'm the last one. Are they like stuck? I think they're shooting at me. I just don't know where they are. Oh, they must be in front of me, I mean, but I... What? Oh, they're inside the house. Oh, jeez. No, I'm out of bullets! Oh, I'm not hitting him. Oh my god! Oh man, geez, that was really close. But yeah, it's not like it's that simple, like we live in a society in which you don't really know where supply lines come from. You don't really know where a lot of the products you're consuming actually come from. You don't know about what labor practices were involved in getting it. It's like I don't really think that you can get to a better world just by buying in a slightly better thing, and I don't think you get to a better world by saying I'm not going to play the Germans in World War II because they're the bad guys. I just I understand why people would do that, and if you really don't want to play the Germans, or if you really don't want to play, whatever bad guy in a historical game, I understand that. I'm just gonna say though that I think that in most historical games, if you really look at the long view of history, if you really look at what these armies were willing to do to each other and civilians, and also what imperial powers were willing to do to people, you're not gonna find a quote unquote good guy. You're just gonna find guys that were maybe better. So I think especially for a game, you should just you should just do what you want to do. You should play in the way you want to play. Oh, this the Soviets actually had less dudes, but I think they had more tanks. Well, no, they both had one tank. Maybe the Soviet tank because the Soviets got a big lead pretty quickly there, but then it kind of went back. Anyway, I think like for instance like even if you're like a socialist, as is the cat, like you can't like exactly root for the USSR. The USSR is maybe a better system in some cases than the United States for some people, but for a lot of people, they didn't provide enough products for the people on the ground. They failed. There was a lot of people in gulags, shit like that, man. Like it's not like it's just oh we get to choose the right side and everything's okay, you know. But once again, if you're just playing a game, then just don't fucking worry about it. Just play the video game or just play the tabletop game. If you're talking about Warhammer, I mean, like, most of the sides are horrible. You can do like what I did and just write a particular part of that faction that's not so horrible and is good guys, but like in a lot of cases, I don't really think it matters that much. I personally like playing good guys, so I write the good stuff. But if I was going to play a historical game, I would probably just pick the army that I think had the coolest guns or something like that. Unless it was like, even in like World War II, I'd probably play like Soviets just because I think the Soviet guns are cool, or the United States because I think the United States has cool guns and like cool tanks and shit. That's what I would do. I think you should really be more concerned with trying to live your daily life in a successful and healthy manner and not worry so much about stuff like that. So I guess the TLDR version is play what you want to play. If it makes you that uncomfortable to play like the quote unquote bad guys in history, I would advise you to at least actually think about what that means. If you're playing historicals, everybody's kind of a bad guy in a certain light. In World War II, it's just that you happen to be playing the bad guys who are stopping the much worse bad guys. Like, this is what it is. And I mean, that's just like what reality and war on the ground is, man. Like, I don't like the imperial war machine of the United States, but that doesn't mean that we should support the Taliban. You know what I mean? Like, shit's fucked and shit's complicated, and you should just play what you want to play. And if you're really that bothered by playing bad guys, probably just don't play historicals. I mean, it is what it is. And I don't. And in the Midwinter Minis video, they said, well, yeah, but these guys actually played, or, like the Nazis actually did horrible things in reality. It's like, yeah, and if your problem is with glorifying that, then, playing the Imperium is in a sense glorifying some very bad people. Playing Chaos is glorifying some bad people, isn't it? Because you want Chaos to win if you're playing Chaos, etc., etc. I don't know. That's just my thoughts, and I just felt like sharing them. And also, I think that was a pretty cool final battle there, when he was running at me with a knife, and I was just like, oh shit, pistol, oh god. Oh, that was pretty fun though. So yeah, I don't know. I just felt like sharing my 2 cents. Um, Probably doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm just a silly cat on the internet. Who cares? But I hope you all have a wonderful day, and if you're a conservative, a liberal, a leftist, a whatever, I don't really care. I just want you to have fun playing your games, and I want to be able to get along as much as we can. How about that? I don't care. Look, as long as you're not like actually like saying you support the Nazis and think the Nazis were right, I don't care if you play Germans in a World War II game. Just throwing that out there. Also, bang bang, chitty chitty bang bang. We love you. Pistol go bang. Okay, bye. I hope you have a wonderful day.